Are you an idiot? Well, you're in good company. There are about 8 billion idiots on this planet, and that number grows every day. Don't be the guy or gal that says, "I'm not an idiot," because that makes you the biggest idiot of all. We all have our moments of brilliance and our moments of idiocy. Embrace it, folks. Don't be ashamed. Without those idiot moments, we would never be able to appreciate our brilliance. Welcome to I Love My Idiot, a podcast about the idiots we love, the idiots we loathe, and the idiots we can't seem to avoid. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Visit our website at ilovemyidiot.com.
Welcome to another episode of I Love My Idiot.
I'm your equal host, Clyde November.
And I'm Rosie November.
And you guys are not going to believe what I witnessed yesterday.
Oh my gosh, Clyde, you are the worst.
Okay, so Rosie, we're driving in the car and she has a bag of Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
And one of them drops and falls on like the floor mat in the car. When we stopped the next time, she starts digging down there and she finds it, right? Which doesn't surprise me because she doesn't like trash or junk. So clearly I knew she was going to pick it up and throw it away. And then she eats it.
I wasn't going to throw it out the window because that's like littering and disrespectful. I'm in the Lincoln, so it's not like I'm going to just throw it in the Lincoln. Like, it needed to be off of my floor so that it could not melt everywhere. So where else was I supposed to put it?
I have no idea. Maybe hand it to me and let me eat it.
I have
no problem with floor food.
Okay, and here's the thing. The Lincoln is spotless because I never let that car get dirty. So It's not like it was a filthy floor or something.
I had never seen
and it
you
wasn't,
do something like that.
It wasn't like in the dirty part of the floor. It had fallen like to the side. So it wasn't like it was in the muddy, dirty part of where you even stand.
Well, I turned to you.
It's a new car, people.
I turned to you and I said, "Who are you and what have you done with my wife?"
Okay. I don't know where she went. You killed her. Somehow along the way.
Yeah. 12 years of marriage. That'll kill someone for sure.
Exactly. So yes, people, oh my gosh, I ate something off of my clean car floor. Who cares? I eat 30-second rule floor food sometimes. Whatever.
I was counting.
Fine.
It was 35.
It's fine.
It's past the 30-second rule.
Exactly. Whatever. So we're really excited because the reason we were in the car is we decided to make a rush trip to Salt Lake City.
So we are visiting my sister, Claudia. Claudia, how are you doing today?
I'm great.
Welcome to the show, Claudia.
Thanks. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it's good. So it's funny because we have a video chat group called the Idiot Support Group. And it's got
I'm the president of it. I think I earned the right to be the president of the Idiot Club, and this is the closest thing I've seen to an Idiot Club.
Yeah. So on this, we shoot back ideas of like things that we might want to talk about on the podcast. And Claudia reminded us of her hatred towards Valentine's Day. And I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to come talk to the hater of Valentine's Day for the Valentine's Day episode.
I prefer to call it Single Awareness Day.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Especially when I was single, that's all I called it.
So go into that a little bit more. Why do you call it Singles Awareness Day?
Well, because, so I was single up until the time that I was 37. And so I had a lot of Valentine's Days where I didn't have anybody. And then you're at work and all these people are getting flowers delivered and people are getting chocolates and people are going on all these dates with their boyfriends and their husbands. And so every Valentine's Day, it becomes like a Single Awareness Day where each one is like a dagger through your heart to remind you that you are alone and desperate and you will never find somebody.
Oh, man.
Anyways, and then Roy came along. Now I actually like Valentine's Day, so I've had a full
You've evolved.
180 there. Exactly.
Yes.
It's quite a change. Now, I remember when you were going through the prime of this hatred of Valentine's Day, you would really start amping up for it January 31st.
Oh, sure.
And just spend the beginning of February totally amping up for your hatred for this one day?
Yeah. Well, one time, so I was in college and I was living with quite a few girls in a house. And so I probably had like 6 or 8 roommates.
Sounds hot.
Yeah. There were no pillow fights. Don't get excited, Clyde. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
And I also think I already communicated I lived with dogs. Hello. So surprise, surprise, all of us were single except for one roommate. She was engaged, and so we started talking about like what should we do, you know?
It doesn't count if she's engaged to a guy who lives in Canada.
Yeah, exactly. Her invisible boyfriend
who
was
you
like,
never
"Will
met."
you marry me?" Just kidding. Actually, she just sent me a Christmas card. They have like 7 kids now. I was like, "What the hell?" Like, yeah, that's a bit much, but good for her. More power to her. I'm glad it's not me. So anyways, when we started talking about Valentine's Day, we decided to start dubbing it as Single Awareness Day. And so each year it would get a little more epic and a little more epic. And we would do all these different things for Single Awareness Day. So the most epic one, we had a party and we invited every single girl that we knew. And we knew a lot of them. Because I was in college and, you know, but our rule was you could not come if you had a boyfriend or a fiance or a husband. Like, you were not invited. And so my one roommate, we kicked her out of the house and she was like begging to stay. So anyways, we served ice cream and we just told everybody to bring a topping because we wanted like all the stuff that reminds you of how depressing love is or breakups and stuff.
God.
So we had like ice cream sundaes with like all kinds of stuff on it. And then as people walked in, so we told everybody to dress in black because it was Single
like
Awareness
a funeral.
Day. Yeah. And it was held on Valentine's Day. So while everybody else is out having these love fests, we're like, wear black. You know?
Oh my gosh.
So they show up wearing black, and as they came in the door, one of my roommates had a life-size poster of Tom Cruise from Jerry Maguire. That'll tell you how old I was.
Whoa.
So anyways, we had that right inside the door, and we had put like crepe paper around his neck so it looked like he was hanging. And then halfway through the party, somebody was like, we should start stabbing Tom Cruise.
Oh my
So we went and
gosh.
got a knife out of the kitchen, like a butcher knife. And then we have all these pictures. Everybody posed like stabbing Tom Cruise. So it was like funny, bitter women kind of thing. Oh, we played songs like Love Stinks and,
oh my gosh,
you know, like Love Bites, like any song about love sucking, basically. And then we watched like movies that were like man-hater kind of movies.
Oh my gosh.
It was all in fun because like honestly we were all a bunch of boy crazy girls, but it was like really a fun way to reclaim Valentine's Day and not just sit at home being depressed and alone. You know
took
what I
it
mean?
back for your own. I like
That's
that.
right.
Now, did you guys serve any phallic-shaped food?
No. This was when I was going to church, so this was all Puritan.
Yeah.
Oh, hanging out with a bunch of church girls.
Hey, the Mennonites know how to party. What can I say? I don't know. Are we still saying we're Mennonites?
Well,
Or
it's
have we
fine.
moved on to another one?
No, we are not officially Mennonites.
Yeah,
it's
but
just
we
fun
do,
to call my
yeah.
mom one because
Yes.
it makes her so mad.
Exactly.
It is kind of yucky to call us Mennonites.
I know.
Because,
Don't ever do that again.
well, I can't even call myself anything at this stage. I did work with a Mennonite, and she wore a full, like, Amish-style dress
yeah.
with, like, the bun and everything. But then it was so funny because one time after work, we were all going out, and she was like, oh, I want to go. I want a beer flight from that place. And I was like, wait,
Oh my
what?
gosh.
Because, like, she doesn't wear makeup. She's got a bun. She's got a bonnet on and a dress
Wow.
with an apron. And so I was like, you drink? And, like, she pounded the beers. Like, it was intense.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what's kind of interesting about Mennonites, and I only know this because we call my mom one, so I was like, I
Yeah.
should research Mennonites.
I know,
What is
right?
these Mennonites?
The only thing I knew about them was the way they dressed, right? So
Yeah.
upon researching, in a lot of ways, they actually have some liberal views as far
Oh, yeah.
as like compared to some other religions, you know?
Then it is not
Yeah.
a good comparison for mom.
No,
That's all I
no.
can say.
Mom has
Yeah.
never even smelled alcohol.
No.
I know.
Well, I mean,
Well,
she
smelled
smelled
it on
you.
your breath.
But she didn't know what she was smelling, so that doesn't count.
What's that cologne?
She's like, oh, is that aftershave?
The only Mennonite I ever knew was probably one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. So I'm a fan.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, and when Rex played soccer in like Little League Soccer, one of the families on his team were Mennonites, and I've never seen a dad freak out more about a 7-year-old soccer game. Like, he's screaming at the ref. He's like running up and down the field along the sidelines. I'm like, dude, those Mennonites are passionate.
Mennonites are people too.
Exactly.
People. That's right.
So coming back to Valentine's Day. So
ADD
I know,
moment.
seriously,
Sorry.
it's like raining cats, people. This is why Rosie is sanity.
This is when you get Clyde and I in the room together. It's pure ADD madness.
Yeah, but seriously, I took a nap today, which was probably one of the most glorious naps I've had. Since we don't have our kids here, we're able to do things that we never get to do. Anyway, it's like a 4-hour epic nap. When I went to sleep, they were playing Encore. And when I woke up, they were still playing Encore. I'm like,
true.
seriously, I feel like I've entered the land of the dorks and Clyde is in his realm. Like, this is so crazy.
Now, I don't know if Encore is a universal game that everyone would know.
Well,
so
it should be.
if you haven't played this game, you gotta play it. It's a great game. Essentially, the way you play is you pick a word, and then you take turns singing a song that has that word in it. And the first one that can't think of a song with that word in it loses.
Right, but they don't keep track. That's the weirdest thing.
Oh, yeah.
No, we don't even have the board out. We're just bantering with words.
Again, realm of the dorks.
We finally got to the point where we weren't even going your turn, my turn,
No.
my turn.
Yeah, it was
it was like a free for all.
It was a
if you know a
collective
song,
effort.
sing it.
To
Exactly.
see how long we could go with every word.
I
It was
know.
Yeah,
great.
and neither of them should ever join American Idol. It's
No.
Hey, you know what?
Novembers do not have singing voices. Trust me.
I am not as bad as Russell Crowe on Les Miserables.
Oh my
all right?
gosh. Oh
Your
my gosh.
impersonation of him was hilarious.
I know, it's
today.
like spot on, but I'm going to save the audience and
you
Yeah.
will lose
impersonate
viewers.
it.
You will
Exactly.
lose viewers. But I don't know if you remember this, but when we were kids, this was back in the day when Walkmans first came out. We put like the headphones on and we would turn it up as loud as it would go, and then you would sing the song, and then all of our brothers and sisters would sit around in a circle just laughing at the person, because you always sing off key when you have headphones turned up that loud. So we would be sitting there doing this. Well, anyways, our brother Claude, he ends up married to this girl who sings at like the American anthem at ball games and
It's
everything
called the
like
national
that.
anthem.
Oh, well, this is certainly awkward.
How long have you lived in our country?
I am not from here.
Clearly.
Well, whatever. But anyway, so she like sings whatever, the national anthem, I guess. But so she's got this gorgeous singing voice, and she walked in and heard me like just squawking out this song in all its glory, because that was the other thing, is you had to sing it as loud as possible.
Oh my gosh.
And so she just had this most horrified look on her face. And we're like, do you want to turn? And she's like, no.
She's like, what have you done to music?
It's like, that's a disgrace.
Yeah.
And the harder the song to sing, like, we would never pick songs with, like, no range.
Yeah.
So we'd be singing songs like Always by Bon Jovi.
Yes. Or like I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the harder the song to technically sing, the funnier it was going to be. So it was a blast. I'm telling you.
So one of the funniest things, speaking of I Will Always Love You, one of the funniest things that I've seen. So our brother Clinton had just bought a new elk call. So when you go elk hunting, you have this elk call that you put in, and it makes this really weird high-pitched sound like a kazoo, only not quite. And so he put that in, and whenever they sang I Will Always Love You, he would hit those high notes with the elk call. It was hilarious.
So coming back to Valentine's Day, I really want to get back
for
to
the
us.
second time, Rosie
Yeah.
is trying to keep us on
Jeez,
track.
guys.
Sorry, guys.
Seriously.
I will always love you.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Perfect transition, right?
When I first got with Clyde and we were unmarried, Claudia was having one of these Valentine's Day parties. And we went over there and like she had all this delicious food. She had cookies and cakes and, oh my gosh, like candies and all this stuff. And everything had like what looked like blood, like spread all over it. It looked like a death party. But anyways, I wanted to be involved because I was like, dude, this sounds cool. I love Claudia. Like, I would like to come. And when I asked her if I could come, you should have seen the look she gave me. It was like, no, you're with somebody. And I'm like, barely. It's Clyde. Like, we're probably going to break up in 2 weeks anyway. So how about I celebrate now with you, you know?
Yeah, right. This is probably by the time you were pregnant. You just didn't want to say anything.
Exactly.
Like, I could sense it. I'm like, somehow I think she's pregnant. Like,
Yeah.
I think
You are with child.
this is more serious than she's letting on. I believe they've done it.
Yeah. Anyways, I was shut down hardcore.
Yeah.
Like, nobody who'd ever even smelled a man could be at this party.
That's right. Do you want to hear about the worst Valentine's Day I ever had?
Yes.
Okay. So this was not a single awareness activity. This was more, I had a boyfriend, or at least I thought he was my boyfriend. Let's put it that way. I had been dating a guy for 3 months, which to me means he's your boyfriend. I mean, after
you're probably
going to
get married, right?
Well, at least like he owes me dinner on Valentine's Day.
Well,
okay,
the
like
mistake you're making, and I think girls make this mistake a lot. Girls will make assumptions, but if the words have not been spoken, a guy will not assume, like, yep, we're in a relationship.
Yeah. Well, and he was coming off of a really bad divorce. So I was like his rebound person after the divorce. And I didn't realize that like men aren't ready to handle relationships after that. They need some time to roam wild. So I was like his rebound person. So I'm thinking like, oh, for Valentine's Day, I'm pretty sure he's going to take me out or something. But he keeps never asking me out. So then I'm just assuming we're going to get together. And then the day before Valentine's Day, he's like, oh, I'm going to be cleaning my house tomorrow. And I'm like, what?
Weird.
And he's like, yeah, I got to clean my house. And I'm like, okay, well, am I going to see you? And he's like, no. And I was just like, dude, okay. So then I just sat at home pouting or whatever. So by the time it's like 8 o'clock at night, I am pissed. And you don't want to see the rage that comes with Claudia, okay, people?
Yeah.
So anyways, I pick up the phone and I call him and I'm like, what is going on? Like, why on Valentine's Day are you at home cleaning instead of taking me out to dinner? Or couldn't you at least call me and say Happy Valentine's Day or get me a card or something? And he was like, I think we need to break up.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, wait, what? And then he's like, look, like, I just barely got divorced. As far as I can tell, I think you and I are perfect together. Like, his whole reason for breaking up with me was because things were going so well. Like, we had never had a fight until this day.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, are you seriously going to break up with me on Valentine's Day? And he was like, yeah. And then the rage comes out. So
Yeah.
I'm just letting him have it. And then it was just like, fine. So I get off the phone and I'm all upset and everything. And so I don't talk to that guy forever. Fast forward like 2 years later, I'm living in a different town. I'm online. I was on Match.com and it connects you with people. It'll be like, oh, here's a good match for you. And it sends me him.
Oh my gosh.
So then I click on his profile because I'm like, okay, what is he looking for? Because I'm totally confused. And every single thing it says, it's describing me. I'm just like,
my
dude,
gosh.
I was perfect for this guy. I mean, you know.
Did you
I am
reach
pretty
out?
amazing. What can I say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hard to find a match that doesn't fit with Claudia.
Yeah. Well, so then it was so bad because I realized halfway through that like he would be able to tell that I looked at his profile. And so
Oh my
I'm just
gosh.
like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to say something. So I just sent him this email and said, well, you know, the universe must have a pretty interesting sense of humor because it sent me you as a match. And so then he started calling me trying to like connect again.
Wow.
And he's like, hey, let's, you know, I really miss you. And I'm just like, dude, you dumped me on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Get lost.
I mean, you're still good for a one-night stand, though, right?
Well, hey, booty calls all around. Just kidding. No, I never saw him again because I was so mad at him. You do not break up with a girl on Valentine's Day and then she forgives that. That's unforgivable. There are certain things that if a guy crosses that line, there's no going back. And breaking up with a girl on Valentine's Day is one of them.
Yeah, but you dodged a bullet because we've talked about before how you were into the bad boys. That guy was like addicted to pain meds.
Well, it was really funny because he was on my poker league. That's where I met him. And it was so funny because he was the worst poker player. And I was like one of the strongest ones in the league. But I always had to like let him feel like he was this really good poker player because he had that like weak male ego.
Oh my gosh.
You know, like you, Clyde.
Yeah.
I have no
You're
ego.
speaking to my life.
I know I'm a piece of shit.
You know where you fall in the pecking order. We've kept you in line for years.
The guy probably couldn't even shuffle a deck. You know what I mean?
That is how we measure if somebody's
Yeah.
good.
Totally.
In November Family, clearly, with the girl who went to the bathroom screaming and crying because your dad totally made her feel horrible for not being able to shuffle a deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hey, people, I may be a slut, but I can shuffle a deck.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I'm going to say a reformed slut. Like, I am married. As I said before, I am married. I am not a slut, and I'm not an alcoholic.
Well, the
anymore.
evolution.
Yeah. Alcoholics go to meetings. She's just a drunk.
Yeah, exactly. The evolution of Claudia, even since I knew her, is so crazy. Like, how much different you are today than you were then. Like, you were totally a man hater, and then you met an awesome man in Roy. And now you're, you know, a person who celebrates Valentine's Day like a normal freaking human being, you know?
Well, he's so sentimental, so you just can't help but be melted by that stuff, basically. Yeah. But I do think it's funny because at work, you know how sometimes, like, I work at a place where there's a lot of people, and so you're in meetings with people who you know, but maybe they don't know you personally.
Yeah.
And so they'll be like, okay, everybody shares something that nobody else knows. And so every once in a while I'll be like, oh, I played in the World Series of Poker twice and I cashed once, and people will like die because they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And then another time I was talking to a friend and I told her that a long time ago, like a lifetime ago, that I went on a mission for my church, and it was a 1.5 year long service mission. And she's just like, wait a minute, what? You went to church?
This was probably all said over like pounding fireballs or something.
Well, it's just
was this
so
over
funny.
a game of Never Have I Ever?
Well, it's like people just cannot pigeonhole me, because I also had a friend who told me when she first met me, she was convinced I was a soccer mom because I drive like a crossover, so it's kind of like a SUV but not quite. And so she was convinced I was like a soccer mom, and then she found out that I listened to Metallica, and she's like, wait a minute, what? So it's like, you cannot pigeonhole me either way.
No.
People, don't try to put me in a box, but I'll have you know I can shuffle a deck.
So I want to tell you guys about my most awkward Valentine's Day story. So I was working at a restaurant. When you're working at a restaurant, you sort of, you know, you flirt around a little bit with the guests, right? Because
you're trying to get tips.
Yeah. And I was like the best tipper at the restaurant that I worked at. And so, you know, I just kind of flirted around a little bit. Well, at the time, the guy that I was dating actually worked in the kitchen. Yeah, it was a weird time in my life. Like, now I think back and I'm like, seriously, I was dating the dishwasher? Like, what was wrong with me, you know?
He wasn't even a cook. It was the dishwasher?
Dude,
Could he shuffle a deck?
No, he was
Probably
making
not.
like half as much money as me. Anyways, whatever.
What else is new?
I know, right?
Clyde,
you do a lot
You're
of weird
attracted
things.
to men that don't make as much money as you.
Seriously.
Rosie
like, wow.
likes the
I was-
powerful
yeah.
That's hot.
position of the relationship.
I know. I was bound for poverty. Let's just
Dominant.
face it. So anyways, it would always offend him that I was flirting with the guests. But I'm like, dude, I'm coming home with like $600 in tips. Like, we're not struggling here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to pay for Valentine's Day dinner on all these tips, you know? I must have received 15 to 20 Valentine's Day gifts on Valentine's Day.
Ooh, the regulars coming in.
Yeah, and the regulars who were coming
admirers.
in who had like these hopes, right? Like maybe she could be my Valentine, you know?
Wow.
Anyways, every single time I'd be walking these gifts back to my cubby in the back of the restaurant, like my boyfriend at the time would just be like glaring at me from the dishwasher. Like,
that angry dishwashing was happening right there.
Exactly. I know. And I just was like, I'm sorry. Like, I can't help it. They like me, you know? And he was just like, I hate Valentine's Day.
That's adorable.
Now the question, were any of those guys an upgrade from the dishwasher
Yeah,
at your
exactly.
pizza joint?
100%. All of them were, but I have this freaking loyalty problem. Like,
Yeah, that's
honestly,
hurting you now, too,
yeah,
isn't
I know.
it?
If I wasn't a better person, like, I wouldn't be with you, Clyde.
That's
Seriously.
probably true. That's the best trait you have. being
Anyways,
a good person.
fast forward 15 years, I ran into this guy again, and I asked him how he was doing, and he was like, I still fucking hate Valentine's Day. I ruined Valentine's Day for life with
That's
this guy.
hilarious.
Yeah, I worked at the restaurant for 3 years, so he had to put up with it for
Did
a
it
long
happen
time.
every year?
Every year. Yeah.
my gosh,
Even
that's
after
hilarious.
him and I had already broken up. So I only dated him for a very short period of time. And we had broken
still
up.
had to see
And he
Just a
still had to
painful
see it,
reminder.
like little daggers being like shot at him, you know? Oh,
That's
man.
hilarious.
Well, hopefully he's listening because now he knows about the new holiday,
Yeah.
Singles Awareness
Exactly.
Day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a community out there that he can join and just
There is
be
a
bitter.
support group. And,
That's right.
And we
I
embrace
know.
the bitterness and encourage it.
At his, it could be like a life size of a, you know, female actress
Exactly.
that he's like, you know.
People bring the gifts and then you take a baseball bat
Yes.
and destroy them or something. Like, I could see that.
Yeah.
Clyde, I was going to call you out because I don't know if you remember one of the most embarrassing Valentine's Days that I ever had involved you and our sister Chloe. So I had my first boyfriend and we were riding in the family van, the Twinkie van that you've
Oh my
talked
gosh,
about
yeah.
before. And mom and dad took all of us out to dinner and I brought my little boyfriend with me. And then on the way home, both you and Chloe started singing Kiss the Girls.
Sha la 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 la, don't be blah 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 da 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 da. I forgot the words. Whoa
Kiss the
whoa.
girls. And I was like,
Oh my
I am
gosh.
going to kill you. But I did get my revenge years and years later. So this was after Chloe got through high school. She came and lived with me and my roommates. And so we were at my house. And, you know, I probably was living with 6 or 7 girls at that time, too. Yeah, I've lived with a lot of roommates, people. I have a lot of stories I could share.
You had a hard time keeping a
my
boyfriend and
gosh,
keeping
yeah.
roommates,
There were
apparently.
no pillow fights, so don't get excited. But anyway,
These aren't the kind of stories you actually want to hear,
no, it's
people.
like Nerd Fest. I mean, come
Yeah.
on. So,
And
but-
rage. A lot of rage.
I know.
Yeah.
Bitterness and nerds.
and
It's a good
resentment
combo.
toward mankind.
Yeah.
So anyways, I had like a party happening and so there were a whole bunch of people over and my sister was on a date with this guy that she really liked. And so we all waited until she was coming up to the party with this guy and I probably had 25 people sing Kiss the Girls.
Oh my gosh.
She was so mad at me, but it was the best revenge. So Chloe, in your face.
Well, that was the revenge for Chloe. I feel like the revenge you got for me was episode 4. And if people don't know what
You're
I'm
welcome,
talking about,
people.
Yeah.
that was the first time we had Claudia on the podcast, and basically she just destroyed my reputation.
Dude, that
right?
was mild.
Oh,
I could
please.
say so many more things.
Like you ever had a
Right.
reputation.
Before that, people were like, "Oh, this guy, he's got a few little weird idiosyncrasies,
Yeah.
but he's not actually an idiot." And then
Listen.
Claudia comes on and
and his hair
Yeah.
is feathers.
Okay,
Seriously.
shush about the
And
hair.
listen, the whole thing was going to come out eventually, Clyde. People listening to more than 4 episodes of you, they were going to figure it out on their own anyways.
So, Clyde, I was going to tell you, for the winter break, I binge listened to the entire podcast. I went from episode 1 all the way up to wherever you're at now.
Wow, I was wondering why there was a sudden spike in
Yeah.
our demographics from Salt Lake City.
You're welcome. But
Thanks.
anyways, like, I think I should get a commission off of that penny that you get for me listening or
perfect.
whatever.
Yeah. quarter of a penny.
Exactly. But one of the things I thought about after I listened to all of this, I was like, okay, if I didn't know Clyde, after listening to all of this, what would I think of this man? And I thought, okay, he likes soup. He loves pickles. He wears Bigfoot shirts and Gonzo socks. And that is what I would know about him. Maybe he's a pink eye expert, allegedly.
No, not allegedly. It's real.
Well, whatever. And anyways, I just thought this is the funniest picture of you that people are going to get. But it's hilarious, so I'm glad you share it.
Yeah.
And that picture makes you think of a person who's probably an idiot. Like, let's be real.
Well, and then it's like, okay, so then what do people think of Rosie, right?
Yeah. She's
And the only thing
awesome.
well, what I thought of is little hands.
Like that Saturday Night Live where like they got that little
Those
lady
tiny
with the
little doll hands.
Yeah.
I want to find a set of those for Rosie, and then maybe
my
you guys
gosh.
can make one of your YouTube videos about that. That would be hilarious.
That would be so
I am
funny.
Gonna try to find a set of those.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I mean, there's like everything about Rosie is so normal, and then you got Clyde.
Oh my gosh.
anyways.
Let's be honest. People wouldn't come back to listen to more if it weren't for how weird I was.
That's
So.
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Oh, sorry, forgot to silence my phone. It's my mom.
Answer it. We've been dying to get Mom on the podcast. Holy cow, this is perfect.
Dude, she's told me before she's going to sue us if she's on the podcast.
All right, just answer it. Just answer it.
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, Mom. Hey, I'm just curious. Will you ever be on our podcast?
No,
Why?
never.
Why? Why won't you be on our podcast?
I don't believe in podcasts. I don't believe in Santa either.
What about Bigfoot?
Yeah, I do believe in Bigfoot. I'm pretty sure he's real.
Mom, we've made
Okay,
like...
turn me off because I don't want to be on the podcast.
Okay, but why? Why do you hate the podcast so much?
Quit interviewing me. I just wondered when you were coming. You didn't ever say.
They're never coming home, Mom. They ran away. Yeah, it's a complicated story, but there's a lot going on here today.
Oh.
But
So we're actually just now podcasting.
so that's why you called just
Okay.
at the right time, Mom.
Yeah, so we could get you saying I hate
Yeah,
the
so now
podcast.
am I on the podcast?
Just
'Cause
say
I
that
told
it's
you I didn't want to
stupid.
be on.
Just say it's
I'm going
stupid,
to sue
Mom.
you if I'm on the podcast.
Oh
You'll
my
have
gosh.
to listen to it to prove it's you, Mom.
Yeah, and if you sue us, you just have to help us pay the suing debt anyways.
I know. We'll sell our house and move in with you
Yeah,
to
exactly.
afford it.
Good luck. This house doesn't have a room for you guys.
Oh my gosh.
Mom, you're hilarious.
You are hilarious. That's why you'd be so great on the podcast.
There have actually been requests to get you on the podcast.
Tell them forget it.
Mom,
People have asked me, like, why isn't your mom on?
Mom, you have fans.
Yeah, there's a whole community of people who love you.
Most of them are Mennonites.
Yes, I'm sure. And some of them I even know.
It's all in fun, Mom.
Sorry that we've disappointed you.
Mom, who's a bigger disappointment, Clyde or me?
It's a toss-up.
It depends on the day.
Oh my gosh. Mom,
Mom.
is it true, Mom, that I'm the daughter you never had?
You're the
Well, I never had a daughter quite like you at all. I have to say.
That is true. I'm the daughter she had. You're the daughter she wants. Okay, well.
You're the daughter I never had.
Yeah.
That's it. I had that daughter, but you are the daughter I never had. But here you are.
Here
And
I am.
Yet I am stuck.
All right, one final question, Mom.
Oh, sounds like you guys are having quite a bit of fun.
We always do.
Mostly at your expense.
Ask me if I'm having fun. Because I'm not.
All right, Mom, I have one final question for you.
No, because I'm not being interviewed.
Okay.
I'm not recording.
Are you sure?
No. Here's the question. When you are old and you have to live with one of your children, do you pick me or Claudia?
Do I have to pick out of those two?
All right, fine.
Yeah, Chloe's winning.
I'll probably go live in the home.
Guys, the home is better than living with you.
That's awesome, Mom.
What about
Yeah.
me, Mom? Can I take care of you when you're old?
Yeah, you can bathe me and wipe my butt. All that. Yes.
Yeah. You know I would do that for you.
Yes, I know you would.
Mom, you do
You would
know
like
I
it.
will not do that, right?
I know.
That's funny.
You guys get all the fun stuff like playing pinochle with Mom and having a great old time, and then she's
Yeah.
like, bath time, Rosie.
Time for that diaper change.
You call me wherever I am. I'm at the store picking up medication or something. It's like, get over here, Rosie.
I need a bath. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Well, you're like a long ways out from going to the home, so I'm not too worried about it.
Mom, will you just say that you love us?
I love you guys. You're so amazing. I love every one of you.
That sounded a little sarcastic.
Can you say it like you mean it?
You don't believe I really do?
We know you love us.
It just really makes them uncomfortable when you
Oh.
say it.
It's just awkward to talk about feelings, that's all.
You guys avoid feelings sometimes. Oh, you're the best. Thank you so much for watching our kids and being so awesome.
Okay.
Okay, bye, Mom.
Bye, Mom.
See ya. Bye. Wait a minute.
What?
Hello?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
Question mark. Are you still on the podcast?
When you're actually asking a question, you don't have to say question mark. Yeah, we're podcasting with Aunt Claudia.
Hi, buddy.
Okay. So, when are you coming back?
Tomorrow.
That's my question.
Yes, tomorrow.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, baby. How you doing?
Good.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
I love you.
See you tomorrow after church. Hi, Auntie
Hi,
Dad.
honey. I love you.
I love you
Make
too.
sure you're being really good for Grandma.
Bye, Auntie.
Bye,
Bye,
sweetie.
Mommy and Daddy, Auntie.
Can you say I love my idiot?
I love my
Oh my gosh, it's so cute.
All right, I love you.
I love you too. Bye.
Bye. Well, that was awkward. Your mom actually told you guys that she loved you.
I'm just glad it was documented for posterity. Like, I know she didn't come out and say it, but she never says that.
Yeah. Well,
That's why I had to ask her while we were recording.
do you
Yeah.
want to know something kind of funny about your mom? I haven't really shared this with you guys before, but when I hug her, she always tells me that she loves me.
Dude.
Every time. It's quiet, like it's in my ear, like a whisper.
Oh, so like she doesn't want other
Yeah, she
people
doesn't
to
want
know?
other people to
'Cause
know.
She doesn't want to hurt our feelings because she never
Yeah.
tells us.
Look,
But I asked her one day, why do you tell me that you love me? Like, why do you whisper that to me? And why don't you say it to the other kids? Because I know she loves you guys way more than she loves me.
Clearly. I mean,
And,
how could
yeah.
she not?
And she said, in the most mom way, because, honey, you need it. I was like, dude, are you psychologically, like, testing me?
And
like,
welcome
what?
to the November family, everyone. Even
What did
saying
that
I love
mean?
you is some kind of psychological test.
it's always an agenda.
You are failing. Can you
Yeah.
shuffle a deck?
I can shuffle a deck. That was one of my first interview questions at the November family.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm glad we got that call, but that did pull us way off the rails. So I'm going to drive this train
Yeah.
back. We were talking about Valentine's
Oh.
Day.
Yeah.
Now,
Weird.
If I could actually share one of my first Valentine's Day experiences, this goes back to the first grade.
Oh, yeah.
There was this little girl named Jamie. She asked me to be her boyfriend.
My first Valentine was named Jamie too, but a boy.
Interesting.
Weird.
One of those names. Oh my gosh. That is
Something in
amazing.
common.
I
List
know.
item.
Totally.
One thing. The
We
one thing
finally
that
found
bonds them
something.
together.
Now when you divorce me, I'll be like, but what about the Jamies?
Yeah, exactly.
It's meant to be.
Totally. So we got our Valentine's Day list where you know how it is as a little kid. You fill out those little Valentines. And they used to come with envelopes so you could put candy hearts in them. Now they don't because they don't want kids actually touching the candy, right? But so I was loading them up with candy hearts, but the teacher had said you put in the equal number of candy hearts in every envelope. But of course, this Jamie girl, you know, I'm going to call it dating. We were dating, right?
Did you
Yeah.
send her a note that says, will you go out with me? Check one. Yes. No. Maybe.
No, I was way too shy. She actually sent it to me.
I did that to my first boyfriend,
Oh
too.
my gosh, you guys are dorks. I have entered the land of the dorks.
I am a person who's like never pursued a girl. I just wait for one to pursue me.
They just stumble onto
Yeah.
because
it.
I'm too shy, right? Rosie went through that.
I
so.
did.
Anyways,
And then he got me pregnant and I had to stick around. Like, geez.
That's how you hook them.
there you go. So when I was putting all the candies in the little Valentine's Day cards, I ended up loading this girl up with like 10 candy hearts because I was like, ooh, she's my girlfriend. And I ended up getting in trouble and getting kicked out of the Valentine's Day party in first grade.
Wow.
Because the teacher was like, I specifically said equal candy for everyone.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty brutal. And I've kind of had like a negative feeling toward Valentine's Day ever since. So
You need therapy, Clyde.
that's why we started this podcast.
Oh my gosh, whatever. So do you have like an adult Valentine's Day story?
G-rated, please.
Yes, please.
Keep your weird black mattress magic out. We don't want to hear about it.
Well, I think it has just so happened that in my adult life,
Well, you just cracked like a teenager there.
thank you, Rosie. Thank you guys for. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry I'm not perfect. My goodness.
I don't know if you remember this, but when you started going through puberty, we used to pick on you so that you would yell at people and then your voice would crack and then we would just laugh hysterically at you.
Yeah, you don't forget stuff like that.
You're
Claudia.
welcome.
This is why I'm the person I am today.
Yet another thing to bring up with your therapist.
I had 4 older siblings that picked on me as a child. Yes.
You're welcome.
Yes. So I have only had one girlfriend on Valentine's Days ever, and that was you, Rosie. It
Wow.
has
Goodness.
just so happened that
Oh my
every
gosh.
relationship I ever had was always either starting right after Valentine's Day or ending just before Valentine's Day.
Dude, what about the girl you dumped right before Christmas? If you would have stuck it out, you could have had a girlfriend for Valentine's Day.
Well, that was the girl that charged me and tried to punch me, so
Oh.
I didn't feel like I had 2 months left with her. I was like, I'm going to end up on some Dateline episode
Yeah.
as a corpse if I stay with this girl, because
could've
she's
taken
crazy.
her.
I know you could have taken
You should
her.
have told me that was happening. I would have handled it.
Yeah, well,
Well, I'm glad. I'm like your ultimate Valentine. Does this mean you've been to Singles Awareness Day parties?
I
or-
never have because...
Boys were not allowed.
Oh,
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And guys were not like as passionate against Valentine's Day because it's not our friends that are getting gifts,
Yeah.
right? We're the ones doling them out.
I almost feel like guys actually want to avoid having a Valentine until they're married. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, once you're married, yeah, of course.
It saves money.
yeah.
And you just referenced I broke up with that girl right before Christmas.
Right.
I did that to save money. I could have waited till after Christmas, but I already knew I was going to dump her.
You're
so
like,
you
I don't
save
want to
money.
buy her a present. Come
Exactly.
on.
And Clyde, you got to step it up this year because my favorite chocolate company went out of business.
Oh.
So, and you've always
I
gotten
know.
me chocolates from there every
I always
year.
got you the raspberry filled truffles.
Yes.
Ooh.
I know.
They're like $10 a truffle, so it's like a really
Oh my
big deal.
gosh.
Yeah, and they went out of business probably because they were charging $10 a truffle,
Right,
know.
right.
But yeah, so you're gonna have to step it up. I mean, find something new to get me.
I was just going to say that if you get her the wrong thing, you know she's going to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
publicly and shamingly.
So
Yes.
let the pressure begin.
It's a lot of pressure. I believe our first Valentine's Day together, I got you a vacuum because we didn't have a vacuum.
How romantic.
I know,
Hello,
right?
can you feel the love tonight?
Now get in there and vacuum the floor.
Oh my
said,
gosh.
Vacuum that carpet.
Yeah, and I am not, like, at that time before Claudia had beat gift-giving practices into me, I was not great at receiving gifts, and the look I gave Clyde was like, what is wrong
like,
with you?
huh?
Yeah, it's like, who gives somebody a vacuum cleaner on Valentine's Day? And you should have seen him shuffle. He's like, I gotta go back to the store.
I was like, oh, this is present one. Let me go
Yeah.
grab the other one
Is
out of my
this not
car.
acceptable?
Yeah, and then I see him in his Cavalier, like, driving out as quickly as possible. He came back with the most Valentine's gifts I've ever received on Valentine's Day.
Hey, that's one way to get it.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Well, this actually brings me to my idiot spotlight of the day. This brings me to my idiot spotlight. Acting like an idiot after you dump somebody or have been dumped by somebody. Now, Clyde has had many breakups, but he's definitely dated some crazies that have done some crazy things after the breakup. What's the craziest?
I'll answer for him. Like, he's taking
Perfect,
too long.
Claudia.
Okay, when Clyde lived with me, he broke up with one of his girlfriends, and he was at the mall with some of his friends, and she showed up on my doorstep, and she came in and she was just like, hey, I need to get some stuff. And so I'm like, okay. And so she came in and she was being really normal. And then all of a sudden she had like this crying meltdown. She was in Clyde's room. She wouldn't leave. She was hysterically bawling, and she calls Clyde and is like, you need to come to your house. So then Clyde calls me and he's like, should I come? And I'm like, no, like, hello, stay away. Cause like she would never leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really thought I was going to have to call the police to get her out of there. And I am not a weak person. Like, I am strong and I will give it to you for what it's worth. And I was so blunt with her. I'm like, you need to leave, get out of here. And she would not leave.
Well, I remember she was talking to me in the bathroom. And every now and then you'd like come check in on her. But at one point she's like, if you're not going to be with me, I'm going to kill myself.
Yes.
And then
Oh my
you
gosh.
heard that and you walked in and you were like, get off the phone because I need to call 911. You're like, I need to report that you just said you were going to kill you. And she's like, well, I'm not really.
I'm like, get out.
Dude.
I think
just
that
tried
was
to
finally what
manipulate
got her
him.
out of there. When I finally said I was going to call 911, she left.
So
That's
she did
a psycho
two
breakup.
Yeah, she did two idiot spotlight things then. She threatened to kill herself. She snotted all over your house.
She had so much snot coming out. I was like, something is wrong with this girl. Like, I have never seen so much snot come out of a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then I teased Clyde about that for the rest of our lives. I'm always like, oh yeah, we'll remember all that snot.
And Rosie and I have talked about this,
Yeah.
how there are cute criers out there and there are ugly criers.
She was
yeah.
the ugliest.
Yeah, like it's funny because some people cry and it's like, oh,
It's sweet.
that's sweet.
Yeah.
And some people cry. It could be the exact same situation. And like their lips are all flopping around. They're like showing too much teeth. They look like, Bigfoot or
Yeah.
something. I don't know. It's crazy. So she was definitely an ugly crier. I saw that before, like after Dad said she was
I was
a
gonna
strip
say,
poker
she was the
player.
ugly strip poker non-shuffler.
Yes, same
Yeah.
girl, same
Yeah.
girl.
Can't
so,
even shuffle a deck.
so my
Exactly.
idiot spotlight would go out to her. She was the crazy breakup.
Yeah.
Now I dated lots of crazies, but I would say
lots.
she
Yeah.
handled.
Lots. Although
she
I
took the
I
cake,
can't
though.
say too much about that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
She handled the breakup probably the worst.
Yeah.
What about
you? For me, every breakup that I've had so far has resulted in a man begging for me to come back to him.
Like when Phil was like at your door crying at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Please, I love you so much. You know, oh my gosh. And that's like the biggest turnoff for me when a man cries over the breakup and like thinks that those tears are going to get me back. Like,
dude, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, all right, there's the door. And then you'll be like, wait. Hold on. This is a new side of you, Clyde.
I've also had the incessant texting, like millions and millions and millions of text messages that's like, I love you so much, please come back to me, but then end with like, fuck you, I hate you, I hope you die, you know?
Anger really fast.
You see all of the steps of emotion through the journey of text
whole
messages.
Steps of grief are happening. The anger, the denial.
Yes. Through in 45 minutes of texting, you get through all of them. So I've also dated that idiot that I like to spotlight.
Rage texting. It's the best.
It's the best. One of my very good friends who's single and has dated a lot of people, she always does the drunk texting where she's like, I'm so over him. And then we go out drinking and she's like, I love you. You know,
booty call.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just one more time with you would be worth it. You know, it's like, oh my gosh.
If you ever hear someone say, I'm so over him, they're not.
No.
Otherwise, they wouldn't even be saying that. If you're over someone, you don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, totally.
What about you, Claudia? Do you have any idiot spotlights over breakups?
Gosh, I have had so many breakups that it is like almost impossible to find just the one.
Right.
So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like the material is so rich here.
I know. Claudia's the only person that has more breakups than she actually had boyfriends. So I don't know how that works, but anyways,
it's an art.
Proceed.
It's an art, you know. But I do think, I talked previously about the guy that I made him cry when he was trying to make me cry.
Oh, yeah.
So I always feel like I'm trying to win during a breakup, you know? So it's like...
the winner of the breakup.
Exactly. And I can go in for the kill. And then later I'll go home and like be a shell of a person crying and everything.
Sure.
And eating the ice cream or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
See, Claudia, this is your problem, though. You're trying to win the breakup, and you think you win the breakup by winning the moment. What you got to understand is you win the breakup 10 years down the road, right?
Yeah.
Like if I look at that girl that was crazy, I totally won the breakup because look who I'm with. I'm with Rosie.
Sure.
I've got a college degree. I've got a good job. We live a good life. We have this kick-ass podcast.
You know how to shuffle a deck.
Everyone's jealous
exactly.
with. Yeah. She ended up dropping out of high school and, has just kind of like petered out, worked different, restaurant industry jobs or whatever.
Maybe this says more about the type of women that you attract.
True.
Than anything else.
So you attract people that you are certain you're going to win the breakup, right? 10 years down the road.
Well,
I will tell you, I had one person that we dated off and on, and we had a number of different breakups. And then it was really interesting because when I met Roy and I called him and told him, hey, I'm engaged. So, I thought he would be excited for me because we were at the point where we were friends. And he just started bawling.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, you were the one. And I'm like, dude, you wouldn't even call me your girlfriend. We broke up because he had like serious commitment issues. P.S. He also lived with his mother.
Yeah.
And like a 35-year-old man should not live with their mom, okay?
Yeah.
So like, I told him, I was like, dude, we were always better friends than we were anything else. And he's like, I know, but what if you're my only chance to get married? And I was just like, oh, this is so weird. So it's like, that was like a funny one where I had no idea what he was thinking,
Yeah.
So,
the commitment issues. Yeah, that's a big deal. Oh my gosh. Well, this has been a really fun episode. I know that Valentine's Day is typically about love and creating memories of love, but this has been a whole episode about singles awareness and pretty much breakups. So, to all the single ladies, congratulations for having a holiday coming up.
Enjoy Single Awareness Day, people.
Enjoy it.
And I do just want to take one quick second to say something. And all kidding aside, I'm the luckiest man alive. Rosie, you are my Valentine. You've been my Valentine for the last... I'm bad at math, but You've been my Valentine for a while.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forget
Over
that
a
number.
decade.
10, I
Yeah.
Should we really count once we pass 10? Let's just 10 plus,
Just
right?
we know each other.
14 years, Clyde.
Like,
14
we
years.
have a lot of history. Let's just say that.
Oh
And
my
you've been my
gosh.
Valentine. And you know what? My life is better because of you, and I love you. And I know we don't take a lot of time on the podcast to like be real like this, but I absolutely love you. I'm the luckiest man alive.
Awkward.
It's nice.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for bringing the room
Dude,
down.
Claudia's
Can
right
I say
here.
something too? Then, if
Yes.
you get to say this, I want to say like,
Can I hold your hand while we say this?
No, don't touch me, right? No.
You are
wanna
about to
hold-
speak to me
Hey,
directly,
if you
right?
want to hold my hand, no, you are not my Valentine. I'm talking about Roy right now. Oh my gosh.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, I
sorry.
just want to
Go
say that I feel like Roy has really domesticated me when it comes to relationships, and he is so sentimental and sweet, and it really has brought out a side of me. It's like I want to tell him how much I love him, and I wouldn't have ever thought I'd be one of those girls. So I want to say, I know this is your guys' podcast, but I want him to know how much I love him as well.
I love you too, Roy.
Don't edit this out. Hello.
Are you
cutting that
saying
out.
that,
You are not.
Are you saying that Roy is your Valentine?
Roy is my Valentine.
Oh,
I know.
And you know what? The
wow.
great thing is he's the person that made you stop hating Valentine's Day. So
It's
that's
true.
awesome.
We didn't think it was possible.
Rosie, if you had to choose between Clyde and Chris Pine to be your Valentine,
Oh.
who do you pick?
I cannot answer this question.
It depends on the day. Is Clyde being
does.
sweet?
Yeah.
He just said all
He
those
just
nice
said,
things
okay,
about
I
you.
guess it's Clyde.
Okay. I
I'll
mean,
take
tomorrow it
that. I'll
could be
take
Chris
that.
Pine.
You know what? 364 days a year, it's Chris Pine. So
Yeah.
I'll take this one day. This
Chris
one
Pine has
occasion.
never once said the nice words that you just said to me.
Yeah,
That's true.
That actually was really sweet, Clyde.
I know. That guy's a jerk.
Well, happy Valentine's to our single people, our married people, our dating people, our people of people. We love you, and we hope you have a great Valentine's Day.
Happy Single Awareness Day, and be sure to celebrate in the most bitter way possible. And then
Yes.
send those in so that we all can get ideas from each other.
Exactly. We would love pictures and videos if you have them as well. That
But
would
please
be
don't
great.
break any laws.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, don't actually stab somebody.
No. Like, don't take it too far. Good sense of humor necessary for your videos.
And if you're planning on ending a relationship,
Record it.
Valentine's Day probably not the day.
No, record
Yes.
it and post it on your Facebook. That'd be hilarious.
Exactly. Don't forget that you can listen to our podcast on any of your favorite podcasting platforms.
You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And I don't know what else is
What the hell? Claudia,
Claudia, the end of the
you're not
podcast
supposed to
is
say
for
anything.
us.
Well,
Why
I
are
want
you
to say,
talking?
like, the next, like, I don't know what the next thing is.
Oh my
like,
God.
Would you like me to feed you a line?
Yes, please do.
Okay, here's the line. My name's Claudia, and I will not talk during
That
the closing.
line, I do not register. I would say, don't forget to tell your idiots you love them. Do I get to end it that way?
Yeah, fine.
Oh my gosh. Okay, just because you invented a holiday, I'll allow it.
Thank
this
you.
one time.
It's the single awareness gift that keeps on giving.
That's right.
There we go.
Okay.
All right, so
But do it more genuinely this time and all about you.
here we go. This is your one moment. This is
yeah,
the one time
you better
I'm
say
allowing
it in the best way you can.
Don't forget to tell your idiot you love them.
You're fired.
Well, this hurts.
I love my idiot.
I know. Claudia's the only person that has
Yeah.
more breakups than she actually had boyfriends. So I don't know how that works, but anyways,
an art.
proceed.
It's an art, you know.
Welcome to After Hours. I'm Clyde, and I'm going to be walking you through what to do when it comes time to write your Valentine's Day card. The Valentine's Day card is one of the biggest pressure-filled moments of Valentine's Day. In fact, it's one of the reasons that most men hate Valentine's Day, because this is the time where you have to write something to express yourself And chances are you're not a professional writer. Your grammar's probably going to be wrong, and you just lack the wording to make your significant other, your partner, whoever it is, feel special. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to feed you a whole bunch of lines that you can put in your Valentine's Day card. And actually, these are all lines that I've stolen from movies. Because you know who writes movies? Professional writers. So why would you compete with that? And if you want, we can make a little game of it. As I say a line, if you know what movie that came from, you just keep a little tally to yourself and see how many movie lines you could identify the movie. All right, here we go. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. I like you very much, just as you are. You will never age for me, nor fade, nor die. You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down. I would rather share one lifetime with you than face all of the ages of this world alone. I wish I knew how to quit you. I could die right now. I'm just happy. I've never felt that before. I'm just exactly where I want to be. Death cannot stop true love. All it can do is delay it for a while. You complete me. Winning that ticket was the best thing that ever happened to me. It brought me to you. I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy asking him to love her. It's like in that moment the whole universe existed just to bring us together. When you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. You make me want to be a better man. Neil, I'm not afraid anymore. The oracle told me that I would fall in love and that man, the man that I would love, would be the one. So you see, you can't be dead. You can't be, because I love you. You hear me? I love you. Now get up. Okay, maybe that's not the best one to use for the card, but you get my drift. Anyways, good luck with those cards, and thanks for tuning in.